a great job. Very technical racetrack. Kind of race hall and Bobby always went to win this racetrack, and it's a lot of fun, that's for sure.
And to that end, will not waste any time. Very hot 4th of July afternoon here at the Ohio Sports Big radar from that Ray Hall family.
Momentarily, but clearly the temperature 80 degrees. It has warmed up. Track temperature 4 degrees warmer than it was just moments ago to that 50 degrees. With the Patreon, if you just accelerated your career to the Grand Marshal this weekend here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, it was an honor to be asked to do it, to be the Grand Marshal, and, had so many great memories of this track and over the years, and love coming here. Best fans in racing come to this place, and, I'm looking forward to a great weekend. It's going to be hot. It's going to be, it's going to be a hell of a race.
Talk about the memories, obviously, with Jim Truman, his owning of this facility, and now being able to, I guess, honor him in a way, the Grand Marshal. Well, that relationship was so very, very special in making your career.
Oh, sure. I mean, everything you see here really with the product of Jim's commitment to Mid-Ohio, to racing, and I just wish you could see all this. That you could see Mid-Ohio today, and not a tremendous difference from 10 years ago or whatever, but the new mill ownership has really done some great things. They made a lot safer with the runoff area at the end of the back straight. A lot of things you don't necessarily see, but that makes the place a better spot for everybody. And so, Jim would be proud. I have no doubt of that. And it's always great coming to know. And of course, having been with Jim for a number of years, you really get a sense of appreciation for what he did for this sport.
Winner here in 85, again in 86. 40th anniversary, so happy 40th anniversary on that. Hard to believe it's been that long.
That makes me feel old.
It's amazing, though, to see what you've been able to do.
You guys, I don't know if you can see the screen. Right now, they're all in the pits. Getting ready to start practicing soon. A few more minutes now, I think. Then they should start.
Well, and there's no question that, we've really got strong guys on the engineering side. Jay Fry coming in to run the company, that was such a big plus for us. And, everybody's just, stepped up the game. And, we need a little bit better luck maybe in the races, but you can see we have pace. And that's the most important thing, is you got to have pace in order to be competitive. And we look at qualifying, Grandstand the top 6 the last 3 races. And, of course, Louis, a rookie, getting pole position of America. So, I think we're knocking on the door.
So with this honor coming up on Sunday, is this something that you will need to practice to command fire engines in the field? You need to put in time to get this, or will you completely off the cuff?
No, I think I got it down. We'll see.
You've heard it enough. I would hope that you have it by now.
Exactly.
Thank you for the time as always. Congratulations on not only a short career, but being a great marshal.
Thanks.
Yeah, good stuff, and a very deserving Grand Marshal for sure. And my memory of Mid-Ohio with Bob Ray Hall was several years ago. Robbie Bass, who's of course a long-time spotter for Ganassi Racing. Robbie used to go out on the list with me when I was out on the course. And so we were down at the end of the back straight, and Robbie was up there with me, and Robbie asked me, he goes, hey, what's the thing to come up? So we invited Bobby Ray Hall to come up. Well, the spotters on the other side that were let IndyCar know what was going on, and they had sent somebody out today. You guys got to be with the rest of the spotters.
Yeah. And Bob Ray Hall, right? I mean, they're one of the great. It's really cool. How much he is in sport. You need to look in the mirror and see what he's been able to get to this sport for. I mean, Indy 500 winner, he's won here a couple times. Obviously, he has a race team. And by the way, if you're ever in Indianapolis in the Zionsville area, you can stop by and look at Graham and Bobby's race shop, and Graham has, some shops in there. It's pretty amazing. Well, matter of fact, there's steakhouse in there now as well. So you can go have dinner there, and they do a great job. It's just small money. They've been around a few long time. Well, outside of Brick Motorsports.
Well, there's little doubt that Graham Ray Hall went to the Indianapolis 500, but I remember his win here in 2015. It's a special for so many reasons. First of all, his home racetrack. Secondly, his dad won 2 times here, as you heard. And I mean, not to mention the fact he literally grew up here. He rode a bicycle around this.
That's right. He has a kid. He's riding bikes. I heard that story as well. And the other day on social media, Graham got a little bit he's really riding. He looks as fast. He has a bit of a low. It's been a while since he's won. But look how close this competition is. Look how close he's been.
Alright guys, here comes Joseph Newgarden. He's coming up the keyhole right now. The one that passes by right now is Joseph Newgarden. And if you guys don't know, that's the one that is my profile picture, Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah, that's right. No, he's a great guy, and he knows how to drive race car. He knows how to do that by
Big number 2.
I think Graham's a big part of the sport as well.
45-minute section, and then we'll divide it into a couple of split sections so everyone can get the clean green racetrack. This is a little shorter, I'll say, than Road America was.
Yeah,
it's been over 2 miles here. That's most of it, and up to the entrance of the field.
Sometimes I look up and sometimes it's replay, so I want to make sure it was not a replay, but yes,
it's a car that stalled on the track.
Here, just gets off in that turn 1 area, and just turned a little bit too much, and then overcorrected it and spin. Doesn't look like any effect to the car. I think he's going to be able to maybe start that up by the hybrid unit and continue on, but if not, as yellow's out. I think the yellow's out. Maybe it's not.
Early on, it's usually the rookies that are the takers, Stevie, because they are the ones that have the benefit of the extra set of Firestone Firehawks.
Yeah, now the yellow flag comes out, at least where he's at right there, just a local yellow. And like I said, the hybrid unit should be charged up to be able to fire them up, but if it's down, it won't do it. They're going to have to go full force.
This weekend, 5 and 5 in terms of alternates and primaries. As you mentioned, rookies get an extra set. It's a new primary compound. It's going to offer decreased grip. More durables. Now we've gone red.
It takes off, of course. That's how it works, right? He finally got it fired. Just takes off to where, unfortunately, the race came out literally seconds before Abel was able to get that car started and take off. It won't be long. He'll come in
So as we were saying, a new primary compound this weekend with decreased grip, but it's a bit more durable. The alternates are the same. They offer less grip and wear. That's what's going to be expected this weekend. Those expected lane during this red flag condition. Check in with Michael Young.
Yeah, good record competition in there on the corner. A familiar face of these big box. We'll call the Siegel.
59.
Kyle Moyer with Papaya on. It's obviously with Papaya.
It's just good to be back in Indy on the Texas track, to be honest. I think the wife wanted to get me out of the house anyway as soon as possible. So, yeah, a little nervous, but very excited.
How would a person like you be nervous after all your experience and everything you've done in the IndyCar series? Is it all like starting anew again? What makes you nervous?
Just nervous, even though it wasn't that long away and everything like that, you just missed it so much. You just want to do a good job and everything. It's exciting to be here at McLaren and everything like that. Just hoping to do a good job for them.
How interesting or how different is it? You were with not only Andretti Autosport, now it's really global, but what's it like in era McLaren? Are the same, or they different, or can you compare them in any way?
Well, I think everything's different, everything like that, McLaren, they've been around racing just as long as Indy has, so, there's a lot of things embedded, processes and everything that are fun to be learning and everything at the grain.
Interesting that he won the championship with Tony Kanaan back in 2004, and now his role with the team, bringing you along the ride. What is that relationship been like that you've been able to keep it integral for so long?
It's definitely different. It's a lot more work for him to realize.
How would you like to work with when he's not fighting the way?
I don't think it's as much. Just as much, just as on that throttle pedal. right rear suspension. See that tire go around, you can see the wing folded forward. So Lucas is definitely causing a red as we see him going backwards. Wow. Oh, pretty good hit to that tire bearing. Good, thank goodness that tire bearing area is there. And that does look like that was on the turn 8, if I'm not mistaken. He wants to come out
of the Thunder Valley upon exit. Yeah, never made it to the crest of the hill to make the downhill run back through 9-10 for the setup 40-11. Lots of storylines headed into Mid-Ohio. Busy stretch for the NTT IndyCar Series. 5 races over the next 4 weekends. For the stories that we'll be watching throughout the course of the weekend with Brand New first.
Welcome to the Honda Indy 200 in Mid-Ohio, presented by the all-new 2026 Passport. Has it really been a full year now since the launch of IndyCar's hybrid era? The result of a collaborative effort between Chevrolet and Honda, which has certainly given drivers and teams even more tools to enhance the all-track competition. This year, it launched to the stretch as quick as it gets here at Mid-Ohio. 8 races over the final 9 weeks of the season. For the July fireworks as well.
And then at Road America in the second corner of the first lap, threw it off the racetrack, and this is not what AJ Foyt Racing.
Red hot in qualifying on road course effect for the first time in his career. Graham has been a part of the last 3 fast 6 qualifying sessions on road and street circuits. So imagine him winning again here in OHI. Of course, there's below the teammate, Mr. Mid-Ohio, Scott Dixon, the 6-time winner here. Felix Rosenquist has Ozzy Osbourne on the side of the car this weekend, and rocks and rolls into Mid-Ohio, fresh off a runner-up finish in Road America. And got any of the Andretti Global drivers as well. On the Chevy side, their first win this season could easily come from any of the previous 50 drivers, all of which already have wins in Mid-Ohio. So does Pato O'Ward, who led the last 24 laps last year to hold off below. And it's no longer the exception, just the rule. Watch out for AJ Foyt Racing, who has 3 podiums in a season for the first time in 24 years. Santino Ferrucci has 2, David Lucas has 1, and both, by the way, have scored the 4th most championship points since the Indy 500, trailing only below Chris Lidge and Pato O'Ward. Hey, the speed section, a tremendous holiday coverage all weekend long here on IndyCar Radio.
Former member of this radio network, Vice President.
For Lucas, looks like it, but only finished that race 14. But with the aggression that he showed that day, would that be off of a sales pitch? Because there's still the concern that specialist of while we were away as well, Scott McLaughlin has a bit of a moment, just running deep and off.
We were going to take a ride this morning with Graham Rahal in the pace car, and James noticed right away the big bump in the transition right there to that new pavement from the newly profiled corner, and that's right where McLaughlin started to lose control as the rear pressing on that bump.
AJ Foyt Garage and go to work on that thing, get it ready for tomorrow morning.
Well, one of the things that this will do is if you play the tire management game, which they all do now, because of the way this happened, I know they're not going to be happy about losing the track time, but it's going to give them a wealth of alternates, which is good news as long as the alternates are preferred tires.
Yeah, that's right. And then another good thing about teammates that we talked about. Teammates, they're right now, Ferrucci is his teammate. He's able to stay on track, go out there and learn as much as he can. I don't know where he stands on the speed chart right now. He's looking for Ferrucci back 21st, so he's not up on there very fast, but information and Lucas just turned quick and timed that lap before, so bump that he went off.
Yeah, I mean, what it boils down to is it's been a process for Larry and that whole organization, and obviously, we remember a couple of years ago, it was about halfway through the season that the technical alliance was out. Don't know what the benefit was for the second half of that season, but clearly over last season, this season, I think it started to.
Yeah, but I think, it's back to the team getting used to that technical alliance and the drivers getting used to those setups and kind of figuring out what they like. And I think it's a great, great opportunity. I want to love to see AJ Foyt to get back to victory lane. And, let's do such a good job of that team, obviously. Two hungry drivers right now, and so we'll see what happens. I think that he's on the list right now, by the way. He's another one, the Arrow McLaren driver. He has speed. We continue to say, hey, he's really good. I think fourth in the points championship right now, so he's another one that's ready to pull off a win.
They've got drivers
flag is off.
back here on McLaren does with Luke Gardner's teammate Paddle Ward and Nolan found some speed early, but
Okay,
looked a bit
start.
down going of Marcus Simmons up to third, Gibson Gardner fourth. Will Power is fastest, then Maluka, Simpson, Rosenquist, Foster, and Francesco.
Everybody, you got second Indy 500, unfortunately, was penalized.
Shout out to Stratton Gaming. You can see me from the keyhole. Hello. Other than that, happy 4th of July, everyone. Hope you have a good one. Let the race begin. Or should I say practice?
Going into turn 2, going into turn 4. You want to make sure that your brake bias auto board go off in the grass. You got to get them fired up. That's the second McLaren car we see go off. That was the final corner right in front of us as well. And he gets them going down. Very, very light on. Yeah, you find that back to there's so many corners around this. when we see them, they look like they're from the company. Hit the back first, got a sideways, coming off of turn 5, going into turn 6. And that's that area, you want to get on the gas, but you have to hit the brakes as well. And it looks like maybe just too much rear bias blocked the back of that car up right there. And once it did, it just spun it around, and he had no chance but to, just turn the car.
Have you ever wondered what that rear attenuator does and what it's supposed to do? We just got to look at it right there.
Really good look at it, and fortunately that's a tire barrier down there, tire wall, so it absorbs as much of the hip of that wing bent forward, and the attenuator made for harder walls than this, and so that, but it always helps. There's no question about it. But it looks to me like when it's cold, got on the brakes a little hard, well, not too hard. So what you have to do, you just don't want the rear brakes to lock up.
Got a full this season, led 12 laps, a couple of top 5s and 4 top 10s now here. He was 4th a year ago, but you remember back in the first race of the doubleheader weekend in 2020, Davey, he had field covered because he set on pole after race 1.
That's right, he knows how to win here right now. He's struggling at the point championship too. I don't have it in front of me right now.
There's a lot of them that are, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's
no fault of their own.
yeah.
Any other
Alright guys, I'm ending the stream.
Yeah,
Come back to see the Indy cars qualifying.